Well, hi everyone. Welcome to I Need Help. um, I am Sherry Waldrop. I am the Small and Rural Libraries Forum Manager. We decided to do this meetup. I think for a couple of reasons. One is we were getting ready for the session that we're going to be doing at the ILA conference. And as I was talking with the other directors that are doing that panel, if you're going to ILA, we're doing a panel on Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Panel discussion. It's a little bit more geared toward part-time library directors who perform a full-time job. But anyway, it was just as part of that conversation, it just seemed like people had questions about things and need help about things. And so I kind of thought, you know what, why don't we just do a session where people could come, people from small and rural libraries could come and ask questions and get insight or get help. So there's no agenda for this particular meeting today. Again, it is until 3 o'clock. So those of you who are with us, is there something in particular that you wanted help with? Those are things to think about. I'm not sure if we all just maybe want to introduce ourselves as well. I thought about that and say where you're from and what part of the state you're from as well. So I'll just go ahead and start. I'm Sherry Waldrop. I'm the director at Allerton Public Library, and we are in the middle of the state. In the cornfields, kind of. Jessica, I have you next.
I'm Jessica Rodriguez. I'm the director of the Stayer South Chicago Heights Public Library in the far south suburbs of Chicago.
Ginger, I have you next on my screen.
Hi, I'm Ginger Kearney. I am with the Helen Plum Library in Lombard, so I'm western suburbs, and I'm actually one of the larger libraries, but I am the president-elect of the trustee forum. So I wanted to say hello and invite everyone that's a trustee to the trustee forums and see what's going on in the small libraries, because I am not in one of those. So I just wanted to join and say hi and listen in.
Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome. Donna, I have you next if you want to unmute yourself.
Hello. I'm Donna Forbes. I'm the marketing and events coordinator for Illinois Prairie District Public Library. We're in Woodford County, just northeast of Peoria.
All right. Rachel?
Rachel Ballinger, and the director of Towanda District Library in the middle of the state, almost exactly.
Okay. Alice?
Hi, I'm Alice Jackson. I am at, I'm the director of the Chillicothe Public Library. It's been a long day. Director of Chillicothe Public Library just outside of Peoria.
Okay. And Toya?
Hello, I'm Toya Wilson. I'm the director of Carroll Public Library, and we are at the bottom of the state.
Okay. Christy?
I'm Christy Lau. I am the director at the Carlisle Public Library. We're right between Peoria and Bloomington.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Well, so glad you guys all joined us today. So is there somebody that has an issue that they need help with, that they want to throw out to other people? Just feel free to unmute yourself and throw your question out there.
Well, this is Christy, and I'd be happy to start us off.
Okay.
I struggle with financial reporting. Most of the libraries that are kind of around the same size as we are, we're just under 3,000 population served, have bookkeepers, or they kind of do it themselves. And then the bigger libraries all have accounting firms, and we've priced out accounting firms, and they're a little bit bigger than what our budget is happy with. And I don't have anybody in my immediate area that has the expertise or the motivation or desire to help me in a bookkeeping situation. So I'm just kind of curious as to how people handle that, and if anybody has any good words of wisdom for me.
Okay, anyone in the group have some words of wisdom for Christy?
Christy, no words of wisdom. I'm in the same boat. I'm a little bigger than you, but it's all in-house. We do have a small accounting firm that helps us out, but we're actually possibly looking for someone new to take care of that or help us out with that. So yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah, I mean,
Christy, yeah,
I
go
do
ahead.
the I guess the bookkeeping. I don't do like the the end of month financial report. I just kind of keep track of our spending, and then luckily we have kind of a small accounting firm nearby that charges us really low rates. But yeah, otherwise I just keep track of the spending that comes out of our different spending sources. Like we have a credit card and we have a debit card, or not a debit card, but credit card and a checking account. So I just keep track of what comes in and out of there and try to allocate it as, mark what it goes in and out of, what funds.
Jessica, are you just using Excel to do that, or are you using a money program?
Yeah, actually it's Google Sheets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Christy, what are you using? Like, what kind of software are you using, or are you not using anything?
Well, right now I'm using an accounting firm that charges me $900 a month.
Ooh,
And yes, that's what my board says every month.
Yeah.
And they're okay, but they're not $900 worth of greatness.
mhm.
So periodically I get a board member who says, couldn't we be doing this for less? Couldn't we find any alternatives? And I've done a lot of calling, a lot of, trying to find other people who might help us. And we just haven't, the smaller firms don't seem to understand like library fund accounting. And then the bigger firms who do understand it are charging me even more than $900 a month. So I just kind of am in this cycle of trying to figure out a better way without much luck.
Yeah. So do you use QuickBooks at all?
We don't.
Okay. He's not on here right now, but one of the Small and Rural Library Forum board members is Travis at Tolono Library in Savoy. And I just throw his name out. I know he's not on the call today, but I was really kind of surprised. Tolono Library has always done their own bookkeeping. Even the previous director, Travis, has only been there for I think it's almost a year now. But they have always done their own bookkeeping, which I was shocked by, because the little that I have to do is enough. And we do have an outside accounting firm that does writes all of our checks, does all of our payroll, does all of our reports, those types of things. So I was really shocked when he said that he does it like himself. I'm like, what? But I know that they use QuickBooks. So I just
do
throw
all
that
of
out there.
ours in
What's that?
Towanda. I do
What?
all of our stuff here.
You do all of your stuff with QuickBooks?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you get the discount through TechSoup?
We're still using the desktop version from 2021, even though it's not supported anymore. It won't be in October. Because we do payroll and everything through QuickBooks, and with the new subscription online thing, you have to pay $30 to $80 a month just to write your 3 paychecks. So
Even with the TechSoup discount?
oh yeah,
Okay.
because the TechSoup discount doesn't include the payroll.
Can you do ACH through your bank?
Well, that's what we're doing now, but to track it and then send it off for the reports for the state, we'll have to do them all by hand. And it's just so much easier when you can have QuickBooks just spit them out for you and not have to pay for the payroll, because you're doing the payroll manually, but you're entering it as just a database kind of thing in QuickBooks.
Okay, Sherry, this is hilarious, but Travis just
What?
joined us.
Oh, Travis. That is really funny.
It was like we were talking about you, Travis, and then you appeared.
And he's not here yet.
People getting the audio.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get him on in a little bit. Just to help Christy out if we can. And Christy, we all went $900. That's a lot. I pay my accounting firm $400 a month.
Yeah, see, that just seems so much more reasonable. We had one when I first got here that was, you know, a little bit smaller. He did other libraries. He was super, super great. And then he retired on me. So I think that's the hard thing too, is we had such a good experience. And then we've kind of moved to this firm that's, you know, supposed to be more professional, supposed to be bigger. And we just haven't had as good of luck with them, and they're expensive. I think they're accurate, so that's at least good, but it just feels like we're paying way more than what we have to do.
These places that are charging you $400.
Yes.
I'm interested in finding out about them and if I can do it virtually, because we pay $700.
Oh.
So when you pay the $400, is that for your payroll too?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So they are in town. I'm in Monticello. They are in town, an accounting firm in town. It's a small accounting firm. I mean, I live in a small community. I think for the longest time they used to charge us maybe $350 or $375, and then they're like, okay, it's been 10 years since we raised our rates, so now you're going to pay $400.
Well, like we're a city library, and initially someone at the city was doing our payroll, but they were doing it and then they retired. So we actually have a company, and I think they charge us $500 for every payroll that they actually do.
Wait, $500 for every payroll?
How many people do you have working there? You're
Maybe it's I'm gonna have to check. Maybe it's $500 a month, but we have two.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's 500. I saw $500 coming out, so I just have to check the price because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
check.
but still $500 a month just for your payroll?
Yeah, it's just for the payroll, and we have an accounting firm too, but actually that's through the city, so it doesn't come out of our budget.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, Kristen, that's a good thing to do. If anybody knows accounting.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in here real quick. My husband is a computer guy, and he's got this website that he goes to for software that, I mean, it's highly reliable website. I'm gonna put a link in the chat. They currently have a deal on a QuickBooks Pro 2024 for one user with a lifetime license for $200.
Oh, that's really good.
So, I mean, for somebody that's, you know, dealing with, you know, small, and you're going to be the only person that's getting in there and doing that, it might be worth the money to buy the software to be able to do that.
Yes. Yes. Hey, so Travis, I know that's great. Thanks for that, Donna. Travis, are you on now? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, we were talking about QuickBooks. So Christy was talking about she has to handle all of her financials in-house. And so I was telling her that that's what you do.
Yeah, it was a blast getting everything set up.
And if you could maybe give her some tips, or basically that's really what she was wanting to know, is how people handle the in-house financials.
Okay, cool. Did you want me to email you, or do you guys want to talk about it now?
Well, if there's just something you could quick say about it. So was your system already set up before you got there?
So they had QuickBooks Online. Well, they had just moved. Once the last director between Janet and I had left, they had moved during that young lady's administration. She had converted everything from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online.
Okay.
So they had that, but as far as the billing system and how they did things here, they were really just recording things in QuickBooks. They really didn't like all their bills were still being paid by check. Like people were still signing checks and
Yeah.
well, at this time they got away from them signing the checks and actually hired an accountant who signed. So they were emailing the bills to the accountant. The accountant was cutting the checks. And so when I came in,
Mhm.
noticed a few things that were a little off and was like, it'd be easier if you guys just had someone in-house doing it. And
Mhm.
so they agreed to bring billing in-house. At the time, I had already kind of worked out what it would look like for us. So I'm on the last part of this because I've been doing it for like almost a year now. I'm on the final part to see how successful it is for any audits we do. So we have a different account that does like our annual treasurer's report and audit and stuff like that. And so everything, the receipts, the invoices, all that stuff is completely online. I
But
pay
you do it, correct?
Yes, I put it all online myself.
Okay.
I pay all the bills too. Like there's no one else
Mhm.
paying the bills. It's actually me.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm happy to sit down and kind of go over it. So, I mean, what our system looks like now is I take all the invoices, I upload them in the bill section, and it'll all pop up in a review section of the bills. You kind of go through, you make sure it has the correct vendors, you make sure the proper pricing's on there, add any notes if you want to. My treasurer logs in under their account. They review the bills and they upload a sheet. Well, the previous treasurer, she was using like a little PDF sheet that she would just put her initials next to all the bills that are approved. The current treasurer uses an Excel sheet. Whatever it looks like, his approval's attached to all the bills as well.
Mhm.
And once they're all approved, I just go back in there and I pay them all. So eventually, so it goes from the review side to the unpaid side. And once you pay all the bills, you just go in there, mark them all paid. When I hit paid on each bill, I just attach the receipt to it, and then it moves over to the paid side. And you can go through your history. I think I'm up to like 400 transactions. So that's how many bills I paid in our system, give or take.
Okay. And then I think the other thing is because some people are small and rural libraries, and Christy, I don't know if you're part-time or full-time. How long does it take you to do that, Travis? Like in a particular week? Like how long would you say you're working on paying bills and handling all those transactions?
So at the start of, not even at the start of the summer, I'd probably say from July to the beginning of August, we had a lot of annual bills that were coming in as addition
Mhm.
to our regular monthly bills. So those were just a little bit longer. Like I probably spent about I feel like an hour 20 working on that, but it doesn't actually take that long once you just have your regular steady stream. Like this week, today actually, I'm getting ready to upload the bills from this week. It's like 12 bills. It'll probably only take me like a half hour or
Okay.
less, give or take, to get those paid after they're approved.
Okay. Okay. Christy, I don't know if that helps you at all, any?
It's very helpful. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and I'm sure Travis would be happy to answer any other questions for you if you decide to do something like QuickBooks. I think that's what a lot of people use in-house. I know nothing about QuickBooks. Every year when the auditor comes here, I'm like, I know nothing about QuickBooks. You all are asking me for things or telling me to do stuff. I said, I don't know anything. Like, I have to, send it all to the bookkeeper because I just really do not understand it. But I know you can take classes in it. I do know that.
I was gonna say, yeah, they have virtual help too. I want to say it's about like 30 or 40 bucks a month if you wanna just keep them on speed dial. You just join a Zoom at any time during their hours, and you share your screen and show them what you're having issues with, and they kind of walk you through it.
Hmm. Okay.
I need them a lot less than I did when I first got started with QuickBooks because this is my first job where I actually had to do anything with QuickBooks. So I need them a little less unless there's something really wild that I come across that's kind of like new. But for the most part, I don't really need them as much. But it's good to know that they're there.
Yes.
So there's a group that I'm on their newsletter for. It's for National Grant Foundation, and I'm putting the link in there, and they offer a lot of classes, just virtual classes on different things like Excel and WordPress, QuickBooks, social media marketing, kind of one-off continuing education, that if you are looking to kind of grow your knowledge about QuickBooks or using it, or even want to give it a try, those are some good sources in here. And it tells you how long the class is, if it's what kind of beginner level, intermediate level, how much they are. So if it's something that you want to try doing in-house and you don't have a lot of experience with QuickBooks, that might be something too.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kristen. All right. Another question. Somebody have another question about things you're struggling with or need help with?
This is kind of a random question, but I had some sort of newsletter I was getting whenever we had to lower our flags to like half mast.
Mhm.
And I realized
Yep.
I just haven't been getting those anymore. So I didn't know who you guys, like how you guys know when you have to lower the flags.
I get an email. Let me see if I can find it, unless somebody else can find theirs before I find mine.
There's two that you can subscribe to. One is from the federal government and one is from the state, because they're different. But it's, where's mine? Mine are in,
Yeah, I have a really weird one, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Mine is from like an American flagpole and flag company. And
I
I
had
think
one that I was getting from them, and I don't know if they just, I don't know. I don't get them anymore.
spelled
I'm
correctly.
putting a link in the chat for, that's the one, it's from the state.
That's a great one. I don't have that one. Thanks for that one, Donna.
And it comes from e-subscription at illinois.gov.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, this is the only one I have. In fact, we were commenting today that we were surprised. Donna, did you get one for today? Like we were commenting, like, why didn't we get a flags to half staff for today? Because it's 9/11.
I have not seen one.
Okay.
But at the same time, I thought I was kind of under the impression that that's supposed to be like a standing one, but I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm looking for, I know that there's one that I get from the federal government, but I can't find it. Oh, Alice might have it.
Oh, is that it, Alice?
I don't know if that's an official one, but that's one I looked up. I don't know, within the last week or so.
Okay.
But I also get notices from like a flag company.
Yeah, that's the one that I put in. It's the M. Nolan at Flag Company. Yep.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, I do too.
No, I'm gonna sign up for the one that you just sent. Because that one actually lists Patriot Day. So when I came in this morning, we were all just kind of talking about it as a staff. We're like, did you see any flags that are half staff? Like, you know, people are really, I don't want to say, they're very vigilant here in Monticello about the flag. And it's just a library. We're just a library people, but they're very vigilant. And, you know, if it's not flying half staff when it's supposed to be, they like come in and tell us. Oh, what's Stars and Stripes? Where did you get that one?
That's one that one of my staff told me about that one. I haven't really looked at it much, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's the one that I get. Yeah, it's from Stars and Stripes daily, but
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't think that's like the Stars and Stripes. It's the newspaper for the Army.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, see, this is what's interesting because I remember one of the ones when somebody was, I don't know, having an issue with something. A patron was kind of complaining about our flag status. It actually was signed because I told him, I said, oh, we get these ones that are actually signed, but I've never seen either of these. So,
Well, and we have in one of our communities, we have 6 libraries that are spread across like 310 square miles. And in one of our communities, there's flags running along one side of the highway that runs through town.
Mhm.
And those are maintained by the community, by the local government. And there will be times where, you know, we'll get one of these alerts and we'll lower our flag. And then people will come in and they'll be like, why do you have your flag down and the village doesn't have their flags down? And it's like, well, this is what we got. And it says to lower it, you know, for this, that, or the other thing. And I don't have any control over whether or not the village lowers their flag.
Right. Yeah, and that's like, so if you're kind of the same situation where you get, you know, oh, here, let me put this one in. I gave you guys the email, but now I found a place where you can actually, it's their website. And there's a place on there where you can subscribe to alerts. So I apologize, I didn't do that before. Okay. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, Jessica, for that, especially on today. I felt really bad not putting it halfway, and it looks like we should have been flying it at half mast.
Yeah, mine's still up. I totally forgot about it until somebody mentioned it. I was like,
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not the only one who has community members who mentioned the
Well,
flag.
and I have not seen anything official come across, but apparently there was some notification that we were supposed to be flying flags at half mast because of the Charlie Kirk shooting. But like I said, I
Yes.
haven't seen anything official
That-
about that either.
That's on one of the ones that somebody just sent. I don't remember. Let's
Okay.
see where. Maybe it's that. No, it's not that one. The Stars and Stripes Daily that lists it. And if you go to the Stars and Stripes Daily website and click on the half staff, it's actually listed as a proclamation from the president. So that's what I was always kind of looking for, is that there was some type of, proclamation.
Right.
well, that's it for me. I got to run. So thanks for answering.
Okay. Yep.
Bye,
Thank-
everybody.
All right. Good question. All right. Anyone else? Issues you're dealing with? Or maybe you just have something fun you want to share. You can do that too. It doesn't always have to be problems and issues or questions that you have.
Well,
Anybody doing anything fun at their library this fall?
I don't know about fun, but in 2 weeks, I think it is, last Sunday in September, we are hosting a screening of the film Join or Die.
Oh, what is
And
that?
it is a documentary about the decline of American civic engagement since the late 50s and early 60s, and how the lack of civic engagement is directly correlated to like the political divisions that we see in our democracy. And it's been like thoroughly researched and over decades. And so we're going to host this screening, and we're going to follow it up with a joining fair. And we are inviting all different groups from our community to come and have information tables, so that if people want to, join a club or volunteer at the food pantry or just do things to get involved in the community, they've got some resources to talk to people.
That is very unique. I don't think I have not heard of the movie. Have other people heard of this movie? I have
Well,
not.
it sounds interesting though.
It does. And I love the fact that you're bringing in, organizations, that people can talk to or become a part of, like you said, like volunteering at the food pantry. That is really cool.
I put a link in the chat to the movie, and I mean, you can go out and watch the movie right now on Netflix. I mean, it's out on Netflix. You can watch it, but it's things like, the decline of people going to town hall meetings and going to PTO meetings and PTA meetings and going to church and just going to one of the weird statistics that they think, whether or not somebody has gone to a community or a communal picnic in the past year. Just
Wow.
to be social and get involved with other people. And it's really kind of fascinating, but hopefully it'll spur some interest in some of our social service organizations and like some of our business organizations, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
Have you had much feedback, or have you had people talking about it? I mean, the nice thing about it is that you've got these other organizations involved, so you don't necessarily have to do all the marketing. But I'm just curious as to how you are attempting to draw people to the library for the showing as well as for the organizations.
Well, first off, we're actually not doing it at the library. We're doing it at one of just down the street from us. There is a large senior center that has this huge community room that can seat, several hundred people. And so we're going to screen it in there and have the movie on one half and have the joining fair in the other half of the room. And they said, well, as long as our residents can come, we'll let you use the room for free. And I'm like, okay. And it's the community that it's in. It's like, it's one of these places where there's like duplexes in a little neighborhood, and then there's an apartment building, and there's, before you ever get to stuff like assisted living or memory care. So it's like a retirement community, not just a senior home kind of thing. So there are people there who are very, they're retired, but they're still very, involved and active and looking for things to do. So there's that, but we've got like the Chamber of Commerce and the Historical Society and, the Genealogy Society. We've got one of our social service organizations that runs, the homeless shelter. We've reached out to the food pantries. We've reached out to the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary Club and the Kiwanis and the Knights of Columbus. And so we're still getting RSVPs in.
Oh, okay.
But for who's going to have tables, but we've got it on our website. We've got it on our social media. I submitted an announcement to our local NPR station so that it'll be on the radio. Just handing out information at our checkout desk.
Yes.
And I mean, like last night we had a patron in, and she's one of these people that's kind of got fingers in multiple pies in town. And she just took a big stack of my business cards. And she's like, can I just start passing these out to people so that they can email you for information? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's great. Oh, well, I certainly hope it's a great turnout. It sounds like it's, I mean, it's very, like I said, it's very unique. Never heard of it before. I love the concept. You know, not just the showing of the film, but, you know, bringing people together as well.
Well, and
So,
especially for people who are in that weird, post-retirement, but they're not old enough to be old
mhm,
people.
mhm.
Those are the people that really are looking for ways to get involved in things, and they've got the time and they've got the energy to be able to do it. So it's get people involved.
Yes, yes, I love it. Speaking of getting involved, does anybody, and I think Travis, I think you were working on this, have um, like an established volunteer group or an established volunteer program? I shouldn't call it a group, an established volunteer program. We don't have one, and it's something that is on my goals for next year. I sort of struggle with what volunteers will actually do because we're a small library, and I mean I have a full staff. So just curious as to to hear from those of you who have volunteer programs and what works and what doesn't and what you have your volunteers do.
Well, I've tried to get one started. I have been here for just about 2 years as a director, and and we had a lot when I came in. There was a lot of work to do, just a lot of boxes just filled with different things that people had donated, whether paperwork, books, whatever, just like everywhere. And in 2 years, I have not got through as much as I want to, but I actually like would when I go around town, I actually talk to people. Sometimes when people come into the library, I ask them if they want to be a volunteer and to sign up on our list. So I have like a running list, and so then like we had um I had a cleanup day,
Mm,
and I just called people and asked them if they wanted to volunteer for that cleanup day. And I did have about 5 people come in and volunteer, and we just kind of, had tasks to do. And then like my next volunteer activity is going to be going through some of the boxes, kind of like to see what's in there and things like that. So basically, that's what I'm doing. And I mean, there were a few people on the list that didn't respond to my calls at all, but that happens. But that's kind of like what I'm doing, just keeping a running list of people who say that they're interested in volunteering. And then when something comes up, give them a call and see if they'll participate.
okay. So you didn't have like a volunteer sheet where they, you know, gave you all the details and, you know, how many hours a week they could work or anything like that. It was more just they put their name on a piece of paper.
They put it was a list with their name and your email address, phone number.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else have a volunteer program? Give me some insight on.
My community engagement librarian, she just got some things up and running for us. So we have tutors that come in here, or we just had our first tutoring session. It was math tutoring here a couple days ago, which is ran by other students from the high school and stuff like that. They come over here and they tutor any of their peers that need it. What else do we have? We had a couple high schools that volunteer and come in here and do stuff like shelving and just any little projects we have. So pulling books that were weeded and shelf reading, stuff like that. We're teaching them stuff like that. And any other little projects that we have. So she was able to get a lot of that stuff up and running. I can definitely give out her information if people want to know more about what it looked like for her to get that stuff going.
Travis, I'm curious, did you have to have the volunteers or did you not have to, but did you have the volunteers do a background check?
So that's a question that did come up when we were going this route. So we're actually in the process of starting a friends group as well.
Mhm.
And so that's the question everyone wants to know, like, are we doing background checks or we're not doing background checks? For the high schoolers, no, we opted to
Okay.
not do the background checks on them. But for the friends group, for the executive board and anyone dealing with finance, so that will probably do background checks on them, but not really the majority of the group. We do have a
Just,
company we use that does the background checks, and I think it's like 20 something bucks a person.
yeah,
That
yeah. I know it's not very expensive to have it done. And does anybody know, and Chris, I don't know, does anybody on here know? Kristen, do you know? Do you Are you supposed to have background checks done for people, especially those who are interacting with children, like a staff member, or in this case, we were talking about volunteers, but does anybody know if that's like a requirement?
I don't know if it's a requirement for us, but for our church that I go to,
Mm-hmm,
anybody who is going to do anything with anybody under 18, the church has to do a background check on them before they
mm-hmm.
can volunteer with any kids. Now, I
Yeah,
don't know if that's church policy or if that's state policy,
right.
or I don't know.
That's what I was wondering.
With the 501c3 that I'm in, it is not required. And this is an LGBTQ youth group. So we only deal with kids under the age of 21. Anyone that works with this kids needs to go through the background check and the abuse training, the
Mm,
reporting abuse training. If they are not working with kids, so we have people who just do fundraising things for us, they do not have to have either of those.
Okay. So do you think, Ginger, that that's more of a 501c3 or you do?
I
Okay.
think so, yes. Based on what people are doing, who they're interacting with. We do a lot of work with teenagers also. We have teenagers in our community who need to get volunteer hours.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them come in and do our volunteer work, either shelving books like Travis is talking about, things like that. They also do some cleaning, reorganizing of things like bulletin boards, but they're not there to interact with smaller children.
Okay. Anyone else with a volunteer type program? Or established program or wants to establish a program? I think it just might be like, we're just going to have to come up with some things and see. Like the one thing, we don't have a friends group. And so that's one of the things that we are thinking about is that, the volunteers would help with our annual book sale because most people have a friends group that does that and we don't have one. So it's not that it's a lot, but like the day of the sale, like there's three of us that are frantically, trying to put our sale together. And then last year I paid staff to work the sale because it's over the weekends. And so it would just be a savings. Obviously, my staff enjoyed the extra money, but it would be a savings, of payroll money to just have somebody volunteer instead of having to pay staff to do it. Thanks, Travis, for the information about your community engagement librarian. I just may get in touch with her about what she was using.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, anyone else have a question about anything? Need help with anything?
Well, does anybody have like really old books in their library? We have a lot of books. Some of them are first editions, but they're like from the late 1700s, the early 1800s. Um, and I've talked to, when I first started, we did start weeding some books, but I didn't touch any of those books. I've been doing like fiction, and we did some children's books weeding because, we're trying to there were books just in boxes that need to be on the shelf, and the shelves are like packed. We didn't have any room. So, but I was curious to see what the books were worth. And I've talked to, some different people, and they were like, "Oh, just hire an assessor to come in." And I'm like, "Well, who has that type of money?" So it's like, so basically, and so some of them were just like on the shelf, on the bookshelf out there, and I was like, well, if these books are worth something, shouldn't they be So I moved some to like a glass case. But I just wonder if anybody else has dealt with this, or do they know, what do you know, how do I even find out if these books are worth something?
I would go out to like eBay and look and see if, and when you're doing your search, look for completed sales, not
Okay.
just what's posted out there, but look for completed sales, because those are the ones that actually went through, not necessarily what people are asking for them.
Okay.
But you could search those titles that way. Otherwise, I would, if there's a university near you somewhere,
Mhm.
I would maybe talk to them and ask them as far as, archival stuff. And
Okay.
worst case scenario, email the Library of Congress and say, "Hey, I've got this book on my shelf. What should I do with it? Is it worth anything?" You know,
Okay. All right. Well,
I Yeah, I was thinking that you could contact the I know they're not Illinois, but the museum, the in Springfield. I don't know what the name of the museum.
the Abraham Lincoln
Yes,
Museum.
yes. Um, when I did Directors University, we did a kind of like a little info session over at the library, and I was just amazed at what they had. Um, and they like, everything they have to put gloves on, and everything's in these archive boxes and that type of thing. I know you're more interested in like the price, and like, are these worth, like, should I be doing something special with them, or are they worth money? Obviously, you sell them, you could make some money for your library. But if it's something that you also just wanted to have, I mean, for your insurance purposes, like, you would need to know, like, if you have a book that's worth $1,000 or $1,500,
Mm-hmm.
you need that as part of your inventory.
Right.
So yeah, so that was just the other thought that I had is, even more, maybe somebody at the Illinois State Library, like maybe they might know of somebody.
Okay.
The people that work at the Illinois State Library are always so helpful. I have no idea who you would contact, but that was,
I have a couple people in mind, but so thank you.
yeah.
So yeah, another place you might look into is contact the Secretary of State's office, because they are in charge, they oversee libraries, and they may be able to put you in touch with somebody who would be able to appraise those for you.
Hi, I'm
That's a good
sorry. I
point.
missed that, Ginger. I'm here by myself now, and I got a phone call. So
No problem.
let me take this and I'll be right back.
Okay.
well, along those lines, I live in a different community than the library that I work at. And the community where I work, or where I live, used to have a first edition copy of a Cormac McCarthy book on their shelf. And it was just, it had been in the library since the book had been published back in the 70s or whatever, when they bought it. And right after he died, somebody checked that book out. And, okay, fine. Well, then it never got returned. And the only thing they could do was to bill them for the replacement cost. The actual value of the book was probably close to $1,000, and they were only able to bill for like $25 because that's how much it would cost them to replace the book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, like Toya could put in, to the item record, like the value. I guess it's not really the value, but you're right. Like, I mean, most of the time the price that's in the item record is, the price that you paid for it, or the price that, it would cost to buy a new one. Or although sometimes those really, really old books, like you can't buy them anymore. So if you go out to Amazon or something, they're like, oh, well, you can buy this book, but it's $100 now, or it's $200. And you're like, okay, forget it. I am not paying, that kind of money to replace this book. Nor do we have the time to like really look at our collection and go, how much are all these books in our collection? What's this book cost?
and then, along those same lines, if it is an older book, you've got to look at it from the perspective of, is this something that's getting checked out? Is it, is it worth the shelf space?
Right.
We did about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we embarked on a huge, massive renovation of one of our branches. And before we did the renovation, we went through and we weeded almost the entire library. And I kid you not, there were books on the shelf in children's nonfiction and juvenile nonfiction that had been on the shelf and had not been checked out in over 40 years.
Oh my
But they were
gosh.
still on the shelf. I mean, published in 1956 and has not been checked out since, but it's still on the shelf. And I mean, the number of books that we just like, no. Oh yeah, you can stay. No. Here's another one we'll keep. No.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh
It
my
was,
gosh.
I mean, it was just nuts. Because it
Yes.
was like, once we buy a book, it can never leave.
Well, but it can.
Yeah. Because I know that nobody is going to be checking out Windows 95 for Dummies. We
No.
don't need that on our shelf.
No, not at all. Oh, okay. Well, we have about 6 minutes left. I know some people have had to hop off and go because of other things that are going on. Or like in Toya's, she's the only one there, and like in her situation. So is there any last minute questions or suggestions or issues that anybody wants to bring up? Questions people need answered? Hey, Toya, don't worry about it. You said you're the only one there. We know. Well, I'm just going to throw this out there. So oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. So we do these meetups. We're going to try to schedule them every other month. So I'm just going to ask people now, is there a topic? We've done some, and I apologize. Kristen, are you still on? Do you have our list of what we have upcoming? Because it's just totally escaping my mind right now.
I have to grab it. Let's see.
At least the ideas. You may not have actually gotten.
It would have been in our last meeting minutes. Let me pull that up.
Because what we try to do is, my idea was to do these every other month. We do have forum meetings every other month, or do we do them every month? I forgot.
Every other. So we
yeah,
do
every
a
other.
meetup and then a meeting and a meetup.
Yeah. While Kristen's trying to pull that up, I would like to know if you all liked this type of meetup where you can just come on and say, I need help. and asking other people for insight or advice, because we could do this again, like in another 6 months, like we could do it sometime in the spring, if people felt like it was helpful.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
This is actually my first time attending, but it was good.
Okay.
And Kristen, are we still set up for November?
Yes, we had talked about a date, and with conference, it just has gotten so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Do you remember what date we talked about? I know
I
can
don't
Google it.
remember.
It's in my email.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it in my email.
So the forum was looking at, one of the ideas was outreach outside of social media marketing. And I had talked to Donna, who was recommended to me through Tamara Jenkins and the marketing forum, to have her come in November for our meetup and do a session about how they do marketing at their library and the calendar. She's got some great ideas. And so
Okay.
I just need to get it on the calendar and get a registration link and everything set up for our November.
I think we said November 13th.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
So we'll do that today, actually.
November 13th at 2.
Okay.
Awesome.
That
was going to be one of the questions I was going to ask, but again, we only have an hour today. So, and I totally forgot. So what Kristen posted, just for those of you who are still on, are the ideas that at the last forum meeting that we had kind of come up with regards to the future topics. So if there's something on here, or not on here, I'm sorry, if there's something not on here, these are our future these are our ideas for future meetups. And Kristen is the one who usually, we give her the ideas and then she finds people that can present or talk on that for one of our meetups. So right now we're planning 6 meetups a year is what we're looking at.
And then maybe I missed this at the beginning. Is there anything like social wise that is happening at ILA?
For the smaller rural libraries? Yeah. Not social wise. We do have the program that I talked about. That's on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. We will have a table set up. When did we decide? Did we decide Thursday morning? Is that right, Travis, Kristen? Do you remember?
I don't think it's confirmed yet. I mean, I need to look at the schedule.
Okay. We'll have a table set up. We'll have like a place for people to come and ask questions. Okay. But we have not set up a social type of event.
Okay. Well, I know it's such a tight timeline that I know sometimes it's hard to get things in outside of the conference program.
Yes. Well, I think you could always do something like in the evening, like I'm saying I think at the embassy, and they have that little social happy hour thing that's like free. You get like free drinks and you get like snacks and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, I think that's why I chose the embassy. I mean, there's always something we could do with that. We could always throw something together if it sounds like that people would be interested in that. Are other people who are still on here going? I know Travis is going. Toya, are you going to the conference?
No, not this time.
No. Rachel, are you going to the conference? I'm not sure if Rachel's still on.
I'm not going.
Okay.
My staff is.
Okay. I know Jessica's not going. But that's something that, we can talk about and, maybe set up something informal, for one of the evenings. I know one of the evenings, I'm sorry, I have to go to IKEA because IKEA is right up there.
One of the ideas too is like for one of the keynotes or an evening event is just to sit together, like meet up maybe a little bit beforehand and.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know they're showing a movie one night and there's trivia one night, and I mean, there's so much going on. So
yeah, there's going to IKEA. I'm just kidding.
Sherry's redoing her kitchen and needs cabinets.
Yeah, my daughter needs a bookcase anyway. Okay, anyway, it's 3:01. So glad you all joined us today. I know some people have had to leave, but I really enjoyed this. It's kind of fun just to hear what other people are struggling with or dealing with. And Donna, I'm very interested in what happens with that program. So we look forward to hearing about that at the conference when
All
we
right.
see you.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All
Thanks,
right. Well,
everyone.
everybody take care. And for those of you at the conference, we'll see you there. And everyone else, we'll hope to see you at the next meetup or at a next SARL meeting.
All right.
Bye all.
Thank you.